Well, good morning, everybody. Chuck here with No Time to Be Sad, and it is time for another Q&A video. I'm still a little bit sick from a couple of weeks ago. I think I got a mild case of bronchitis. I feel like tomorrow I'm going to be 100% though. Let me drink some water, hang on. Had a lot of questions over the past few days. Probably had about 100 questions of the same topic over and over again. I didn't answer that. I actually deleted some of them because I feel like, if you've got a question for me or, I usually just talk about myself. I don't get other people involved. And I don't want to say things that might affect other people, like other friends, other YouTubers, stuff like that. So I just choose not really to talk about it. A lot of people ask me if I went to brought Chew up to go to Joe's wedding. I'd mentioned this, I don't know. I actually made a lot of videos talking about the reason why when they changed their date to the same time as Chinese New Year, I knew we wouldn't be able to go. We have a lot of family obligations during that time. It's about a 6-day round trip of driving for us to that area, but we really don't hang out much with them anymore. We've kind of just went our separate ways. They've got their own stuff going on in their life, and I've got my own stuff too. My mom lives here. We're very busy right now, and no drama. We've just kind of just parted ways. So I hope everybody's okay with that. I don't really have any drama to tell you guys. We were really busy during that time of year, and we definitely couldn't go anywhere. As I had said, we had a lot of things with visa stuff and multiple holidays, and just family obligations, and that's just the way it is. Anyway, enough talking about that. I just brought that up because I've been asked many times, and I know that answer is not going to be acceptable to some, but anyway, whatever. Here's our first question of the week from Frank Pete. Frank asked actually a couple questions. I'm going to pick on Frank a little bit later. I asked my Thai wife here in Bana, I don't know what Bana, I asked my Thai wife here in Bana, why did they have Children's Day? And she told me that she didn't know. Perhaps you or your family could explain this to me. Take care and love to all of your family. Thank you very much, my friend. I ask the same question sometimes. A lot of times I get some weird answer. I don't think they know, but they'll say something, Basically what I've been told by a few people that it's like, in the US we have a similar thing called Field Day, where we have little competition. I don't know if they still are allowed to do that now or not, if they're allowed to compete with each other. But we had like little competitions, relay races, stuff like that, and you'd get prizes and this and that. But it's similar to a field day in the United States. That's all I can say really about that, because it's definitely difficult to get an exact answer in Thailand. But I know a lot of people like specifics. Sometimes we need those to understand what's going on. So I understand your question, but that's the only answer I can get. Colin Owen. Hi, Chuck. Hello. Hope you are good. I'm great. Why do Thai people leave their Christmas decorations and New Year's decorations hanging throughout the year? Is it for good luck? Love your videos. Thanks, Colin from Wales. I've seen the town name every time since I asked you. Thanks for your reply anyway. Thai people just love a holiday. They love a celebration. They don't really celebrate Christmas like a Christian person. They just celebrate to celebrate. Once they pay for the stickers and put them on there, except for like the mall and stuff like that, where they have like seasonal sales and stuff. But a lot of little coffee shops and little market stuff, they'll leave it up. We actually leave ours up. It doesn't. I don't know. It's always a celebration, and they don't really think too much. As I think the bottom line to really answer your question is they don't really think too much about it. They like to celebrate Christmas and they have fun. and they just want to be happy all year round, I guess. It's not for good luck or a meaning or anything. I don't think they really think too much about it. Hands-on review for you. Question, I'm planning on making that area my retirement home from New York. My wife is from Thailand. Do you ever feel hard to navigate on your own not knowing the language? I mean, my wife cannot be with me always. Have you been learning the language? Is there an expat community in Ranong that one can connect with? He watched an old video. I don't know if I was speaking Thai back then or not. I think I'd probably, because let me answer your question. When I first came to Thailand, I studied a little bit in the States, and I had a vocabulary of about 50 words. Of course, they didn't mean anything because I didn't say them with the proper tone. So they were just gibberish, other than the basic stuff, you know. So, yeah, after a few months, I really kind of felt isolated. Like I didn't, you know, I'd ride around on my bicycle and, you know, just see what's going on and spend some time alone. But it was like, man, I feel so stupid. You know, I'm sitting here in a corner, like I don't know what's going on. So I went to school basically to learn about the culture, learn how to read and write and speak Thai. What is the proper way to why? How to, for example?
For example, in Thai, when you saw this the first time, you say สวัสดีค่ะ.
Okay.
You use your hand here.
Okay.
But if you think the same your age, what you สวัสดีค่ะ, and then that person say answer to you same this. And for the children, สำหรับเด็กๆ you put a hand here, and the children put a hand here, and you order then.
Am I perfect at it? No. I spend too much time conversing in English and thinking in English since I've been here, so I can have a pretty decent conversation. I understand almost all Thai and Isaan. I can read Thai. A lot of times I don't know what the meaning of the word is. It takes me a little bit sometimes, but I can write, but I forgot most of it because I don't write that much anymore. When you're texting in Thai, you just can speak and it just puts it out there, so you get kind of lazy on the writing. But I went to school. I just found a teacher that could commit to me one-on-one, a retired teacher. She spoke English, and yeah, she taught me after a few months, maybe half a year, but that's all I did every day was study. I had nothing else to do, and I picked it up pretty quick, and it takes practice. Like you really have to mimic the language like a parrot. Or they don't understand, or unless you can say 100% complete sentence so they know the direction of what you're saying, it's difficult. Now I can travel around by myself, and yeah, when you're asking your wife constantly, what is this, what is that, it gets annoying because they don't really think too much about stuff, and we try to wrap our heads around everything. That's why sometimes I say it's difficult for us to learn a language because we're always trying to, you know, we're trying to put a meaning to the word. We're trying to relate it to something that we already know, and it's difficult. I don't know if there's an expat community in Rayong or not. Ranong, I'm sorry. I know there's one in Rayong. I'm sure there are in Ranong. You may want to check Facebook. Type Ranong in on Facebook. Maybe you can find community stuff there. You got to be careful hanging out with other foreigners. You know, they're all here for different reasons. It's not like we share the same job or the same mission. We have stuff in common other than we live in Thailand. But it's difficult sometimes to relate to other people in Thailand. A lot of them are standoffish. A lot of times you hang out with people for a long time and you kind of get to know them a little later, and you know, you just kind of fade away. So it's difficult. So my suggestion is to try to be as happy with yourself, so you don't need to depend on other people to make you happy. Not saying that's what you need, but if you're happy with yourself, you know, you can find friends and People come and go in Thailand quickly. Yeah. Next question. Let me skip this question. Let me move on to another one. Betty Gomez, Chuck, do you guys listen to the news? Paige does not. The news is always on in the morning, so we have to hear it. My father-in-law, he turns it on. Usually the news in Thailand is pretty gory sometimes. Sometimes it's like faces of death, you know. But as far as America, here lately I've been home too much, so I find myself curious on the internet, you know, so I do kind of keep up with what's going on. I'm not the type of person where I'm trying to learn why exactly everything happened. I feel like if you had all the answers, you knew 100%, it still wouldn't make your life any better. So you got to learn how to put that aside and realize that all the stuff that's happening today has always happened forever. And when you're gone, it's going to continue to happen. So to try to worry too much about what's happening in the world or think you've got the answer about what's coming up soon, it really doesn't make your life any better. Just try to be able to close the curtain on that and enjoy the moment as best as you can. But I know what you mean. It's drama. We like to keep up with it, but I don't really care either way. I'm pretty happy and content with my everyday life. I'm not anchored down, so you know things happen. We can pick up what's important to us and go somewhere else. Next question, Brian Clarson. Your tires sound bad, or is that the road? And he also commented again, maybe out of balance. Please, for safety, check it. Thanks. I commented, I was being sarcastic. I don't know. Maybe he unsubscribed. Hopefully not. I'm kind of a sarcastic person. Usually when I'm trying to get my point across, I kind of dramatized. I dramatize the reply so it sticks in your head. I mean, I've been a mechanic most of my life. A lot of that time was in suspension. My last business, I installed a lot of equipment for car dealerships and independent garages and stuff like that. Trained them and repaired the equipment, warranted the equipment, a lot of stuff. So for my mind, it's like, really, you think I would actually drive a vehicle around that's even vibrating tires? I'm very anal. I know you don't know this, but I'm very anal about my vehicle. If it's got any kind of noise, I'm like, I can't deal with it. I just put new Michelins on there. The last ones lasted 120,000 kilometers. When I first got the vehicle, I put really stiff shocks in the back. I didn't change the struts, but I didn't like the softness. The stiffer the suspension, the better stability you have and the longer the tires. If you got a lot of swaying and moving around, the tires tend to, the tread, depending on the tire, sometimes the steel belts separate, and that's how you get a little noise in the tire. And you have to replace the tire in order to fix that tread separation. But the tires are pretty new. They're a Michelin tire. They're a little bit more aggressive than I wanted. I don't think you can hear the noise. I can't hear the noise in the car. But the thing is the GoPro doesn't, depending on if I don't have my microphone on, it just picks up a woo, 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 woo sound. I really have to try to tweak the sound when I'm talking on my editing program when I don't have my microphone on. It's just some funky noise that the microphone's pretty good in the basic camera setting, and that's what you're hearing. But I wouldn't drive around, and for safety, like I wouldn't drive it's bad enough I can't even get them to put a damn seatbelt on, but I wouldn't drive around with bad tires for sure, especially in Thailand. I hope you didn't get offended by my reply. I was just kidding. Be happy, don't worry, 75. I traveled to Thailand as a tourist. My father had a girlfriend there, and they are not together anymore, but I still visit the girl and her family in my holiday because we got really close and I still love them. But for a first time settle down or as a I want to try Thailand, Cha'am or Hua Hin would be the best choice. I don't know if you're telling me that or you're asking me that. Would those two be the best choice? But if you want to try Thailand, you really need to float around Thailand. If you want to try Cha'am, then try Cha'am. If you want to try Hua Hin, then try Hua Hin. But if you want to try Thailand, you don't need to stay in one place very long. Really, you can get a sense of what's going on in an area probably less than a month. So I would suggest maybe 7 days in each, and you can get a feel for the area like right away. Go, oh, wait, I really like this place. I'm going to book another couple of weeks, and then get a feel for it. But I don't know how many times I got to say you really need to be flexible in Thailand. You really don't need to anchor down anywhere in Thailand. You really need to be, at the most, put a year lease up somewhere, and then go from there. Because a lot of things change a lot in Thailand. Where it comes to neighbors or housing or whatever, government or immigration or whatever, weather. You need to have the upper hand to be flexible and be able to move around. But if you want to try Thailand, try Thailand. Go check out different areas. If you need some suggestions, Cha'am is a great place. Hua Hin's a little overcrowded with a lot of expats, and the pricing's a little on an expats on money like coming from America. It's still a good. It's not that expensive, but for some of the basic stuff in Hua Hin, you can get half of the price in Cha'am. You can check those two places out and find out yourself, but. I prefer Cha'am over Hua Hin, and you can check out Rayong. You can check out some of the islands. I like Krabi. I like Ranong. I like Surat Thani, Chumphon, stuff like that. Just depends on what you want, but check it out. Frank Pete, I'm going to pick on Frank for a minute. There's a reason why I'm going to pick on you, Frank. I'm not really picking on you, but I want to make a point. So let me kind of go through what you had said. I had made a comment in a video that I just made about why we call Chinese New Year, not Lunar New Year. He said, how is she Chinese if she's born in Thailand? If she is born in Thailand, then she is Thai, but of Chinese descent. Am I not correct? And then he put a little, But I went back and looked at the video and I said, no, my mother-in-law is of Chinese descent. I never said she was Chinese or born in China. And then he made a correction after that. He said, sorry, you said that one of Paige's relatives was Chinese but born in Thailand. So I had said that her dad was actually born in China and moved to Thailand and married my mother-in-law's mom, who was Chinese but born in Thailand, is what I said in the video. I'm always a little confused on Chinese New Year about what's going on. We call it Chinese New Year here because my mother-in-law is from Chinese descent. Her father was an immigrant here from China, and her mother was Chinese but born in Thailand. So I know it's the Lunar New Year, but here we just call it Chinese New Year. So, well, what do you think of? I said she's Chinese but born in Thailand. Well, obviously she's Thai. Her parents were Chinese. I didn't say Chinese descent. I don't know. There's a lot of times I misspeak. I'm saying a lot of things, and I don't really try to think too much, and I misspeak a lot. And if it's all you're really looking at in the video, you're going to find quite a bit. But I think you knew what I was talking about, but I don't know why you brought it up. But here's what I want to say, Frank. Thai people say if you could have a conversation with them, they say the craziest thing. Like they always say like, this is my sister or this is my brother. Actually, they're not related to you at all. You just grew up together, but they call them your sister, you call them your brother, call them your auntie. You never really know if they're actually related or not. Everybody's related, you know? But not just that, a lot of things are not specific in Thailand. It'll drive you crazy if you're trying to find specifics here. So my point is, don't think too much, especially you're watching videos about Thailand. You told me earlier your wife was Thai. You know, I think the problem is a lot of times for us, it's very difficult for a Thai woman to put up with men. Paige, you know, I'm so lucky to have found somebody with enough patience like Paige, because I was the worst, probably still am, about trying to ask all these questions and figure stuff out. But as far as specifics go, I don't really care much about that. And a lot of people that comment to me come from different parts of the world. And I know English might not be their first language, but I always try to understand and figure out what they say. I never point out, oh, you mean this exactly specifically, because I think it would just piss them off, you know? So I get it, but just relax, Frank. I'm pretty sure you're a smart guy. You knew what the hell I was saying. Next question. This guy's a douchebag. Let me see. All right, this guy's got a lot of funny comments on my channel. Sorry for the word. Actually, you're a subscriber. I shouldn't call you that. You're probably a really sweet guy. But let's talk about some of the things that you've mentioned here that I've kind of captured. Capture It Live is his name. Thailand doesn't want anyone there who is not Thai. They never took a holiday from that fact. And a little smiley face with a sweat drop on his head. You know what? When people say this is a fact, or facts matter, or this is a fact, I think to myself, that's not a fact, that's your opinion. Why even, I mean, for me, it makes the whole conversation not even worth talking about when you say, oh, this is a fact. So if it was a fact that Thailand doesn't want anyone there who is not Thai, they wouldn't even have an immigration policy. They would just have their door closed, you know? They allow foreigners to come in a lot easier than they have in quite some time. But if you're talking about Thailand, like the government, Thailand, no, it's actually a lot easier to come into Thailand. They're very welcoming. You just have to follow some specific rules as a foreigner in somebody else's country. If you're talking about people in general and you're saying that's a fact, like there's millions of people that live here, expats that live here. If it was a fact, my mother-in-law would tell me every day, hey, we don't want you here. Why are you? When I go down the stairs every morning, they'd probably look at me, are you still here 8 years later? Why don't you go home? So what is the fact actually? I think you're talking about it's your opinion. And I'm only bringing this up because I think everybody gets back what they give. Everybody's situation is usually based on how they act. Sometimes we have bad luck and we're around bad people and they make us into somebody that we're really not. I think you need to readjust and move forward. I don't think you should back up and just say, oh, the entire country hates everybody. I think that's very narrow-minded, and it makes you sound like that you can't get through whatever problem you had, so it must not be your problem, it must be the entire country's problem. You're never gonna fix yourself if you continue to do that. So step back, chill out, relax. Thai people are very loving. If you cross them, in America, let's say that let's say you're from another country. I'm not going to be specific about another country. Let's just say you're from another country and you come into wherever I'm at in America and you just start disrespecting me. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to get that shit back. You're going to tell you, go your ass back home to your country. You know, that's how you're going to be treated. I don't know your side of the story. I just don't really like your comment. Don't put facts. It makes you look silly. You had another comment, and this is a prior comment. You said, my stepmother is from Udon. It's always been a crap hole of pseudo-mafia phalang that have made a pretty bad reputation. Another secret of Udon near Phalang Alley is a couple of houses that traffic Lao children for sex. So before you run in there and buy that $7 British breakfast, know where you are. Another smiley face with a sweat dripping off the side of his face. You're supporting it with every bot. When I read this, it was like, dude, if you know that there's a house that has children in there that they're trafficking, why don't you do something about it? And the second was, how do you know this? How do you know there's a place over there? Who are you hanging out with? Or is this somewhere that you went? You know, I cannot say bullshit on that because a lot of Thai people aren't going to put up with that crap, especially if somebody like you know it. Yeah, I'm going to call bullshit on that. And also, I've never seen when I first started going to Udon, they had a couple of, I'm not going to mention the country, but some biker people that were going in there and causing some problems, and they got rid of them. And one of the things I like about Udon, it's very tight. So a lot of people can't get away with stuff. And I always say that there's a lot of good people in Udon because the bad people don't have a chance. So I don't know how long it's been since you or your stepmom had been to Udon. And I think your opinion again, my opinion has changed a lot since I first got here. And if we can't grow as a human and learn things and move forward, then we're always going to be stuck in the same shithole. We're going to be stupid, you know? So things change. I don't see any foreigner that could do anything related to mafia style in that town. Nobody there is going to put up with it. I know a lot of the owners there, a lot of the Thai owners. I know, you know, the foreigner owners with their wife. I know their wife that's Thai that actually own the place. Yeah, I'm going to call BS on that too. So I think you have a bad attitude, and I think it's only hurting yourself. And I'm only bringing this up just to show that this is not how you should be in Thailand. I don't think this person lives here. And you know, this is why it's difficult sometimes to be around other foreigners, because a lot of times when they don't understand what's going on, they go just straight negative about it, because they don't really know what's going on. So they just go negative. And I don't want to be around it a lot of times. And yeah, I kind of enjoy, like I said at the beginning of the year, me and Paige are gonna travel, you know, not in big groups of people anymore, because I can't deal with it. So yeah, change your attitude fix yourself first. Let me back up. I didn't want to get too negative stuff. I got one more silly question, and this is going to be the last question. Shinobi says, Isaan is Lao language. Isaan used to be part of Lao until the French colonized Lao and gave Isaan to Thailand. So your mother-in-law is Lao, Chinese descent. I know you mean Chinese. And your father-in-law is 100% Lao. Wow. That's why they speak Lao and eat Lao food, because they are technically still Lao. I kind of went back and forth with this guy, and I know he's Lao. He ended up telling me he's Lao. But what gets me about this comment is, I mean, Southern Texas used to be Mexico. Does that mean I'm Mexican? Why would my father-in-law be 100% Lao if he was born in Thailand? Also, and Lao language is not the same as Isaan. In Isaan, they don't speak Lao. They speak Isaan, which is part Lao and part Thai. It's not 100% Lao language. If you go to the capital city, they don't speak like Isaan, you know. It's Lao language. There's a lot of words that are, you know this because you're Lao. There's a lot of words that are different in Lao language than it is in Thai. Isaan is like a mixture of the two. Born in Thailand, I think over 100-something years ago, it was Lao, maybe. I don't know the exact date. I'll have to look it up. But my father-in-law is not 100. He's 100% Thai. He's not 100% Lao. And I don't know what it is. Sometimes I have a lot of conversations with Lao people saying that no, they're actually Lao. Okay, what really does it matter? I mean, they were actually born in Thailand. It doesn't make them like they can't go get benefits from Lao. Like, I don't think Lao people get benefits, but I mean they can't just go into Lao and say, "Hey, I'm Lao. I was born here, and this used to be Lao. I'm Lao. They're gonna get the hell out of here," you know. So I don't know if your English is off, and that's really what you meant to say. But they speak Isaan, and they eat Isaan food. Actually, they eat a lot of Chinese food because my mother-in-law is from Chinese descent. They're technically Thai. They're not technically Lao. But I've had this question a lot, and a lot of times it's from Lao people. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's like hostile or something. Like, who gives a crap? I mean, am I British? I mean, I'm part Irish, English, German. I'm like a Heinz 57, but I can't go to either one of those countries and go, I'm German. Or I was born in Florida. I don't know what Florida was. I don't think Florida was part of Mexico. Anyway, I don't know what to tell you on this guy. Anyway, just relax. Who cares? My father-in-law, it doesn't think too much whether he's eats Lao food or Thai food or whatever the hell kind of food. He just is a very happy man. My parents, my in-laws speak Thai language, but you know, when you're in an area on a border, you tend to have an accent from whatever kind of country you're next to. And they like in Texas, we don't sound like you would talk. If you talk to somebody from southern part of Texas, like Laredo, there's a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Spanish in Laredo, but they're still American there. If they were born there, they're American, Mexican-American. But they don't sound the same as somebody that lives, you know, maybe way up on the East Coast and maybe Massachusetts or something, you know. So anyway, just relax on that. I think people still think way too much about stuff. And I don't know why. It's the specific. This is like the specific Q&A. Everything has to be specific. And you know, if you're looking for me to misspeak and point it out, you're gonna be busy. Anyway, I had my injections done. My thumbs still hurt. I hit 10 racks of balls today. I finally figured out how to hit a ball straight. I get a lot of comments about how to properly hit a golf ball. It's difficult for me to take advice because I think we all have different mechanics and we all have different movement abilities. Some of us aren't as flexible as others. So we have to know some basics and find the groove that works. And I do listen to everybody's comments. And there was about 3 things I know that was causing a slice. And I really, really listened to them, and I figured out which one was actually doing it. It took a lot of racks of balls and many times to the driving range, but today I went and hit 10 racks of balls, 2 racks with just my driver. I actually hit it straight most of the time and actually hit a draw the rest. I wasn't squaring up my body when I was initially standing at the tee. what I ended up doing was placing the ball a little bit closer to my left foot and squaring up properly. Because what I was doing, I was leaning too far forward when I was swinging. And when you do that, I was coming around and I was just swooshing it and it was going that way. So if I put my position of my body straight, I wouldn't get that like roundabout swing. And it fixed it. So hopefully I can remember all of this stuff again. And now that I have a driving range that I know that's close to me, I can get better at that. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for the questions. If you got more questions, please leave them below in the description or in the comment section of the video. If I missed your question, I apologize. If I didn't answer it thoroughly enough in the reply, then ask me again and we'll try to do it on the next Q&A video. Anyway, I appreciate you guys very much. I hope you have a great evening, a great day, and a great life. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.